welcome back to my channel and another swatch and review here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm super excited about this one because this is a collaboration between China Glaze and Dippin Dots. And you know, this little fat kid loves a little bit of ice cream. I love Dippin Dots, that little space age ice cream treat from the future. Loved it when it, I don't know if it came out when I was a kid, but when I became aware of it as a kid, obsessed with it. Every time we went to Cedar Point, which is an amusement park, always had to get it. Every time I saw a vending machine, I wanted it. I love Dippin' Dots ice cream, despite the fact that I am severely lactose intolerant. But I eat it anyways because are we not born to suffer? But when I saw that China Glaze was collaborating with Dippin' Dots, I was like, I have to have this because I love food, makeup, and nail polish and whatever collabs. Like, I love those types of things. Some people really hate them. I'm here for it. And I love Dippin' Dots, as we've already discussed, but I also love China Glaze. It's my favorite mainstream brand. So definitely this was an instant yes for me. So if I seem a little bit more like woo than normal, like that's why, because I'm all about this collection. Like, I will spoil that right off the bat. I really enjoyed this collection. So I thought that the Jurassic World collection was supposed to be their summer collection, but then I saw this being labeled as their summer collection. So now I'm really confused, especially because the Jurassic World collection looks like it should have been a fall collection. I don't know. I'm not a big Jurassic Park person, so I didn't pick that up. Some of the colors were nice, but I just wasn't like super interested. But this one, they got me. These brands, though, they need to start sending me like their release calendar so I know what the heck is going on, because it's hard to follow. People who have more patience than me have definitely mapped out like when each brand releases stuff, but man, I just fly by the seat of my pants, I guess. Okay, so what is actually in this really bright, really fun collection from China Glaze? Well, first of all, we have 3 of these neon shimmers right here. And then we have a full coverage cream. This is just a plain cream. We have a Crelly glitter, and we have a topper. So we have pretty good variety here. We have 4 different finishes across these 6 polishes, which I really like about China Glaze's collections. They typically do a wide mix of finishes. I love that. I think that's fun. That gives you something for everybody. I picked these up at a different supplier than I've ever purchased from before. I bought them from Beauty Zone Nail Supply, which, like I said, I've never heard of it. I've never seen it, but somebody posted these on Instagram, just like a picture, and I went to furiously Googling to see which suppliers had it first so that I could order it, get it in my hot little hands, and put out a review. And this was the only one that had it. They were $3 a piece, so $18 for just the polishes. However, shipping was $9.50. So in total, for all 6 polishes, it was $27.50, which when you divide that out, $4.58 a polish. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things. You know, if they had a little bit cheaper shipping, I would have been happy, but I know that shipping hazardous materials, things like this, it does cost a little bit more. But still, 6 polishes for less than 30 bucks, not bad. So let's do what we always do. I have the full hand swatches. I have the live swatches for you. I'm also going to show you some dupes at the end with my thoughts. I will, of course, timestamp everything down below if you want to skip around. I know not everybody wants to sit and listen to me drone on and on and on about how much I love China Glaze and ice cream, but let's get into it. So up first we have Lemon Ice, and this is a very bright neon yellow. It's kind of got that pure yellow, not quite that yellowy green neon, which I really like. Now, this one is probably the thickest of all the polishes in this collection. So you can see I'm using way too much polish. I would definitely recommend thinner coats for this one because otherwise it's going to get really gummy on the nail really quickly. But this being a yellow, it is completely opaque in 2 coats. Out of all of the polishes, this is the only one that dries down matte. So I did take a photo of it matte, glossy, and with a topper, which you will see here in a moment. However, I feel like you can't tell too big of a difference between the matte and the glossy, but I'm not really sure why. Here they are. Left is the matte, middle is glossy, and then obviously the right is the topper. Next, we have Strawberry Chillin', and this is the exact same finish as Lemon Ice, and also the green in this collection, Frosty Lime. However, the next two, they don't dry down matte, and this one is like a much more normal thickness. It's not as gummy as the yellow can become if you use too much. However, I still did put way too much on the brush, so you'll see me try to brush quite a lot of that away. And then on the second coat, it is entirely opaque. I'm not sure where my lighting went. Sorry about that, guys. But these are all but one, I would say, opaque on 2 coats. And you can see me trying to brush off some of the excess there because I had put way too much on. And that's the thing with these, is they sink down to the edges of your nails if you put too much on. But here is the photo. It is so bright, so Barbie pink in real life. It's beautiful. The final shimmer neon is Frosty Lime. This is the only one that I felt was too thin. I would say, well, not even too thin, but it was just on the thinner side. And you'll be able to see with that first coat, it is very translucent there. You can definitely see way more of my nail line than you could with the other two, which is really surprising considering one of these is a yellow. But after that second coat, I felt confident enough in it to take a photo. However, looking at it now, I think that it probably could have benefited from a third, although because of that shimmer kind of obscuring the nail line, I think that I can get away with just the 2. And here are the photos. You can kind of see some nail line in the photos, but I don't mind it. Here is the cream. This is Blue Raspberry Ice. This is also a slightly thinner formula, and I'm sure you will see me kind of getting it everywhere in my swatch photo, but I want you guys to see like how these actually perform. It does look quite sheer on that first coat, and I'm wiping some away because of that thinness. It does pool if you are not careful, but if you just were a normal person and used normal thickness coats, you wouldn't have this problem, Hillary. But on that second coat, completely opaque. You don't have to worry about that. No nail line at all. And this is honestly the perfect one to layer that topper over, just because I feel like toppers look the best over creams. You know, you don't have all that extra stuff going on in the background. But I really did like this like really pretty blue here. And I feel like the topper really pops over it. This is one I can tell is going to be probably the favorite of the collection for a lot of people, and this is Arctic Confetti. It is a Crelly glitter, white based with a bunch of bright popping neon circle, maybe they're hex glitters. I guess they're hex glitters. On that first coat, performed exactly how most Crelly glitters do, where the base is quite sheer, and you can see a lot of those glitters do come out immediately. You don't have to fish for them. On that second coat, it definitely firms up that opacity. No visible nail line despite this being a white, and even more glitter is loaded onto the nail. I really like this because you can see the glitters pretty clearly. You have that really beautiful Dippin Dots look to it. I love this one. Finally, the topper, Rainbow Ice. Now, I was concerned with this one because the last topper I got from the Orly collection, you had to fish a lot for the glitter, but this was not the case for the Dippin Dots one, which I'm so happy for. I'm going to layer it over Blue Raspberry Ice, and you can see it's very easy to push these around. The base is much thinner, and it just makes it a lot easier to deposit those glitters onto the nail. So, what did you guys think of this collection? Obviously, I love it. I can't hide that. I really, really enjoyed this. I know that neons for summer are not groundbreaking in any sense of the word. I do like that these are not neon creams though, or at least 3 of them are not neon creams. You know, they have that shimmer in them. It's something a little bit extra that a lot of these other brands are just they're releasing a lot of neon creams over and over and over again every summer. And so I did like that little bit of a spin on it. I like that they collabed with something that is kind of like a summery treat. So the theme does feel on brand to me. I know not everybody loves food collaborations or food themes. I do. Like, I really do. There's a beauty brand that's releasing a top ramen eyeshadow palette. you know I want that. Like, I'm obsessed with that. I think it's cutesy. I think it's fun. And I get why some people are like, ew, I don't want to wear food. But you know what? I do want to wear food. I love these because, again, like, they just remind me a lot of childhood, because I ate a lot of Dippin' Dots when I was a kid. I remember our parents took me, my brother, and sister to Disney when we were in, I think, elementary school. And I just remember they had a Dippin' Dots vending machine in our hotel, and we, all three of us, were like, we want Dippin' Dots, we want Dippin' Dots. And I just remember my dad, like, heavy sighing as he was, like, putting the bills into the machine because Dippin' Dots are expensive enough on their own. They're quite expensive for one pack for how much you get in them. But then you got to factor, you've got 3 kids, so sorry, Dad. But I really love Dippin' Dots. I just, the texture's weird. I like weird textured foods. It's fun. But they're hard to find because they have to have like a special freezer because they are such a like they're not freeze dried, but they're like there's something about them that to stay in the form that they have to be frozen at a much lower temperature, I believe. So only places with that special Dippin' Dots freezer sell them, I'm pretty sure. The truck stop near me growing up sold them, but who knows how long they've been there. That was an ancient truck stop. Anyways, enough about ice cream. Let's talk about the actual nail polish. So there was another brand that was doing a Dippin' Dots themed collection a little bit earlier this year. I saw that Janixa from Nail Lacquer Therapy reviewed it, and I was like, oh, those look fun, but they weren't really my jam. They were like kind of more pastel-y, a little bit lighter. And so I was tempted, but I ultimately did not pick them up. However, when I saw these come out, it, reminded me of that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that 2 brands would have a Dippin' Dots collaboration, the other brand being Salon Perfect. And then I was like, the bottles look eerily similar to China Glaze. And so I looked it up, and they're both owned by the same parent company. Like, they are both under the same umbrella. So it must just be that they're both, under that China Glaze branding. And so when they secured the IP, the intellectual property, they were able to, I guess, collab with 2 different brand subsets. Which makes sense, but I think it's still just kind of weird that they did that. I don't know. Okay, so my favorite polish out of all of these, I haven't even decided yet. You guys, I love them all so much. I guess, let me just say my least favorite. I love them all, but my least favorites are probably the green and the blue, which is surprising, but I just feel like this blue, I have a lot of blues in this tone, and I'm like, it's fine, whatever, but I just wouldn't have reached for it necessarily if I wasn't purchasing the whole collection at once. And then the green, I would put this one towards the bottom as well because it just seemed like it was thinner than the rest of them. So the formula, while it was still fine, I think I probably could have benefited from a 3rd coat in my swatches, but I just only did 2 because you could see just a hint of visible nail line. Somebody who's further away wouldn't notice it, but just not my favorite. But the other 4, these guys, like, okay, first of all, how often do you get a neon this insanely bright? You can't even see on the camera how bright this is. This is so good. And it's got that glittery, shimmery stuff running through it. Perfect. I love it. The second I started painting this on the nail, I was like, oh my God, it's perfect. And it dries out matte, which is interesting. And it is a little bit on the thicker side, but if you use thinner coats, it's still opaque in 2 coats. The pink is like my dream Barbie pink. It's so much fun. It's just really bright, and I like these 2 together. They look like, it reminds me of like electric lemonade, very bright, very fun. This is cool. I love the Crelly glitter, although I am concerned about it, and I will talk to you about that a little bit more in my dupes. And the topper, I just love a fun topper. This is really interesting. It's really cool, especially because, so this one's called Rainbow Ice. If you know, Dippin' Dots has a flavor called Rainbow Ice, and the Dippin' Dots are this color. So I just thought that was like a really perfect topper. Like, you really met the standard for the name here. So as far as the quality goes, as you guys know, and I've mentioned this many times before, despite me saying China Glaze is my absolute favorite mainstream brand, they do have a bit of a hit or miss with some of their formulas, and I will 100% admit that. Now, I think that these were all pretty much hits. I will say, Like I said, the yellow here, lemon ice, is thicker. So just be aware of that before you use it. Use thinner coats. And then frosty lime is thinner, so you might need a little bit more. But aside from that, I did not have any kind of quality issues. And these aren't necessarily quality issues, but more just knowing how to work with different thicknesses is really all it is. So I would say these are all great. I didn't notice any patchiness, any streakiness, anything like that. So let's talk dupes. Let's go through. I have my little dupe wheel here. As you can see, it's not as maybe right on as my Orly one was, but I have some stuff that is maybe in the similar color family, but maybe with a slightly different finish, just some inspiration so that if you don't want maybe this exact one, you don't want to go out and spend polish on this exact polish, you might have something in your collection that, while it's not the exact same, has a similar feel to it. You know, we call this duping the vibes. I think that Hannah Louise Poston in kind of like makeup YouTube coined that phrase, but I really like that, duping the vibes. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So up first is Lemon Ice, this really vibrant eye-searing yellow neon. So same as my Orly dupes, I'm going to show you in the center is the China Glaze polish, the polish we're reviewing today. And then to the left and the right, I have a couple of options for you. So to the left is obviously a little bit more bright or green leaning, I guess you could say, and that is Polish Neon. Now you can't get this anymore, but this is for those of you who maybe picked it up in the last polish pickup in April. And that one is, the shimmer is finer in it, and it has a kind of like reddy orange flip, but you know, any kind of neon that has like some sort of shimmer in it that is yellow, I think is going to emulate this one really well. On the right-hand side is a different dimension polish. This one is Sloth. It was part of their 7 Deadly Sins collection. And this is a yellow neon with flakies running through it. And I feel like the color of that one is more similar to the China Glaze polish than the polish one is. But I think that the finish is a little bit different. So I didn't have anything that was like dead on the same color in the same finish, but I thought I'd give you something similar. For Frosty Lime, this bright green, I have stuff that is, again, similar, but not exactly the same. So on the left-hand side, this is actually a jelly flaky, so you're not going to get full opacity with this. This is Electric Lime from LA Colors. This was part of their Neon Jelly collection. This was one of the first, I think, or maybe the first full collection I ever reviewed on YouTube. So it does have a special little place in my heart. But it has small flakies and hollow glitter in there. And like I said, it is a jelly, so you won't have that opacity, but something fun and bright for summer still. And, you know, LA Colors is very cheap, so. Then to the left, we have Cirque Colors Sour Punch. This one is probably similar in the green tone to the China Glaze, not dead on, but closer than the LA Colors. And this one has some contrasting flakies running through it. They kind of shimmer in like a reddy orange color. So something similar, something still bright and neon-y, and a fun finish for summer. And then last of the shimmers, the neon shimmers, we have Strawberry Chillin', which is that really fun Barbie pink. And I actually, from the exact same collections as the green, just in different tones, as what we have here. So on the left, we have that LA Colors Neon Jelly again, this time in Glamingo. And it's, like I said, a jelly, so it has those flakies and that hollow glitter running through it. Not fully opaque, but there's a lot going on, so it's still fun and bright for summer. And then again, in that same Cirque Colors finish that we did last time, we have Bon Bon. And it is closer again in tone to the Dippin Dots China Glaze color, but it has these fun flakies running through it. So just an idea, you know, these aren't exact, but, you know, I did my best with what I had. Okay, as for the blue cream, this blue raspberry ice right here, the second I pulled this out of the package, I was like, isn't this the exact same as the Orly that we just reviewed? So that was the first one I threw on my swatch wheel. So to the left, that is the brand new Orly Rinse and Repeat from the Pop collection this summer. And while similar, it is just a little bit darker, like just like a drop of black maybe in there to make it a little bit darker, but similar enough that I would say you probably don't need both. And to the right, we have Different Dimension Bomb, and this is from like a 90s trio they did, and that one is just a little bit brighter than the Dippin Dots Raspberry Ice. So we have a lot of similar ones. I had a few others in this color. I mean, obviously, if you saw me dupe these out in my Orly video for the Orly one, you know I have quite a few in this tone. So I was trying to mix it up and show you guys some other stuff, but it's kind of hard. Okay, moving on to the two hardest ones to dupe out. So I couldn't do an exact dupe, so I definitely duped the vibes, the feeling, you know, see what I had in my collection that was similar enough, but not a dead-on dupe. And so let's talk about Arctic Confetti, and that is the white Crelly with these really fun neon glitters running through it. I don't have, obviously, an exact dupe for this, but I do have a similar one, and I have a warning. So first, with the warning, you can see on the left, you're probably like, Hillary, why did you put that down there? That doesn't look anything like the Dippin Dots one. In fact, it looks disgusting. Yes, it absolutely looks disgusting. This is China Glaze. It's a trapeze. Now, if you know about this, you would know this was a white Crelly base with a bunch of glitters running through it. But over the years, the glitters have bled into the base of this polish. So it's no longer white. It kind of looks like it's taken on like smoke damage. Like it literally just, it's so yellowed. It looks old. It's kind of gross. And this is something that it can happen, and it does happen to polishes with like glitters in them over time. I'm not saying this happens to all polishes. I think some of it just has to do with quality of ingredients and the way that ingredients interact together. So certain cosmetic grade glitters, they might break down over time. It's something that can happen. Obviously, the Dippin Dots is brand new, so it looks very stark white, but I just want to let you guys know that sometimes with China Glaze, this does happen, and you know, just be aware if your bottle starts turning a funny color, it's probably because the glitters are bleeding. And then, of course, the only other polish that I have that's similar to this is one you cannot get right now, and that is 90 Lacquer Snitches Get Stitches. And this is also a very stark white jelly base with a bunch of bright, fun glitters in there. However, the Dippin Dots one are all neon glitters, and this one has kind of a variety. It has some neons and some like more primary colors. So again, not dead on, but it's a similar concept. And last but not least, we have the topper Rainbow Ice. And again, I have a warning and a similarity. So on the left-hand side, you can see that I chose for a similar polish. Even though the glitters aren't the same colors, it's just kind of the same vibe. This is Orly's Turn It Up. This is one of their kind of staple toppers. They also recently released one called Turn It Down, which is a monochromatic like black, gray, white topper in the same vein. But, you know, Rainbow Ice, I think, is kind of special because it's the exact same colors as the ice cream flavor Rainbow Ice. But if you just wanted like a fun rainbowy topper, Orly's Turn It Up would work just as well if you have that in your collection. The China Glaze one is going to be cheaper. And then just for my little warning polish, this is another China Glaze. This one's called Point Me to the Party. This is a topper, and as you can see, the base of it has turned pink. It was clear, like when this was being sold initially. This is a clear-based polish with a bunch of vibrant neon glitters. However, over time, they have kind of degraded and disintegrated into the base, tinting it that like kind of light pink color. Now for this one, it's not so bad. I feel like it still looks cute. It still looks like something that I could use. But the other one where the glitters kind of fell into the base and ruined it, it's a trapeze. Like this one just looks disgusting. I will never wear this. I should actually just throw this away, but I'm not going to because I just can't do it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing with like China Glaze Crellys and glitters is they kind of absorb into the base that color over time. And so they do have a bit of a shelf life for looking the way that they did when you first bought them, unfortunately. I'm not sure if over the years they have fixed it because those are older polishes. Hopefully this one will hold up a little bit better or for a little bit longer, but we will see on that. So those were all of my dupes for this. Definitely not as dupeable in my own collection as the Orly one was, but I still enjoyed doing this. And I've said this a couple times, but I really do think that I'm going to make this a regular part of my reviews going forward. Just duping as best as I can, or duping the vibes, as I said, because I feel like it encourages people to shop their own collections, and it encourages me to see, you know, just how similar is the stuff that I'm buying to what I already have. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this collection. Are you going to pick it up? I do love it. This is probably the first collection of the year. No, that's not true, because I was really excited about Mystic Bloom too, but this one just, I was like, first collection in a while that really had me excited, and, you know, basically waiting by the mailbox being like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? I was really, really excited about this. I just hope that China Glaze keeps coming out with these kind of oddball, weirdo, fun collections, because I'm really, really enjoying it. But anyways, that is going to be it from me. Let me know what you guys thought of my video down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.